The Fed Board of Governors serve dash terms. Correct. 14-year terms is the right answer. Who provides an individual with a W-2 form? Clear logic. Your choice, your employer, is sound and 100% true. Who is the chairman of the Federal Reserve? Great job. Jerome Powell is the accurate answer. The current chair of the Federal Reserve is... You chose Jerome Powell, and it is correct. An example of contractionary fiscal policy. Nice selection. Decreasing government spending is the correct and valid answer. Interest rates that the Fed charges banks. Excellent. Discount rate is a brilliant choice. Tax that is flat or fixed for individuals. On track, proportional tax is the correct answer. There are dash Federal Reserve districts. Smart pick. 12 is the correct choice. Changes the Fed makes in the money supply. Well done. Monetary policy is the right choice. Number of Federal Reserve district banks. Well picked. 12 is the correct answer. Which of the following is public service? Sharp thinking. Businesses is the right choice. The rate the Fed charges banks for a loan. Correct response. Discount rate is the most accurate answer. Who can propose to raise or lower taxes? Nice work. You chose the president with Congress, and it is correct. If Congress raises taxes, the Fed should. Valid point. Sell bonds is true. A rise in the cost of goods and services. Perfect. Inflation is the correct choice. Everyone pays the same percent in taxes. Right choice. Proportional tax is the best answer. America's central bank is known as what? Good job. Your answer, Federal Reserve, works well here. Which is an example of proportional tax? You got it? Your choice, sales tax, is right. Cash that banks must keep in the vault. Right again. Required reserves is a valid answer. The Federal Reserve chairperson is dash. You're right. Appointed by the president is the correct answer. What is one of the causes of inflation? Bravo. Increasing government spending is the answer. Government gilt sales will likely cause... Excellent choice. Bond yields to rise is the right answer. Real bank rate in the UK at present is... Strong choice. Negative is the right answer. Monetary policy decisions are made by... Exactly. The Fed makes sense and it is right choice. Which is not a tool of monetary policy. Well reasoned. Tax policies is the correct choice. The general increase of price levels. Nicely done. Inflation is a solid answer. There are dash Federal Reserve banks. Solid response. 12 is a valid choice. Who is responsible for fiscal policy? Great thinking. All of the above is the right choice. What is an action of monetary policy? Good thinking. Changing reserve requirements is the right answer. Who is in charge of monetary policy? Smart move. The Federal Reserve Board is an accurate answer. Monetary policies are based on this. Well reasoned. Reserve system is the correct choice. The tools of fiscal policy are dash. Right choice. Tax and/or spending is the best answer. A large budget deficit will lead to. You chose crowding out effect, and it is correct. Fiscal policy is the policy of dash. Great thinking. Government is the right choice.
FICA includes taxes to pay for dash.
On track. Social Security and Medicare is the correct answer. Fiscal policy is controlled by dash. Perfect. The government is the correct choice. The federal government lowers taxes. Smart move. Expansionary fiscal policy is an accurate answer.
GDP that is adjusted for inflation.
Exactly. Real GDP makes sense, and it is right choice. Monetary policy is implemented by. You're right. Central bank is the correct answer. Houston is in the dash district. Nicely done. Dallas is a solid answer. Another name for interest rate. Bravo. Discount rate is the answer. The lifespan of a $1 bill is. Solid response. 4.8 years is a valid choice. Who creates the federal budget? You got it. Your choice, the president, is right. Sales taxes are an example of. Excellent choice. Regressive taxes is the right answer. Money loses its value when it. Valid point. It becomes too plentiful is true. Banks create money when dash. Clear logic. Your choice, they make loans, is sound and 100% true. The Fed refers to the dash. Great job. Federal Reserve System is the accurate answer. What is medium of exchange? Good job. Your answer, a means of payment, works well here. An increase in money supply. Excellent. Expansionary monetary policy is a brilliant choice. Wire is the equation for. Nice work. You chose money multiplier, and it is correct. Receiving a welfare check? Correct. Expansionary and automatic is the right answer. Money functions as a dash. Well picked. All of the above is the correct answer. Deadline to file taxes is. Strong choice. April 15th is the right answer. What does VAT stand for? Good thinking. Value-added tax is the right answer. The sum of all deficits. Right again. National debt is a valid answer. A sales tax is a dash. Sharp thinking. Regressive tax is the right choice. Who owns our money? Smart pick. Our government is the correct choice. Coins and currency. Correct response. Legal reserves is the most accurate answer.
What is inflation?
Nice selection. Rise in general prices is the correct and valid answer. What is GP? Well done. Gross domestic product is the right choice. how you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? Perfect. Contact Narayan Changda is the correct choice.